Okay, that actually got more attention than I expected. At least on the viewership side, it got more attention than I expected. So I figured because, well, it's been pretty much 10 days now since I recorded my last update video. I figured I might as well try and see if it's possible to capitalize on this by coming out with a follow-up. And basically, just to, give you a what's what of what's coming up on this channel as soon as we get to June. So, first of all, I do want to make it clear that I have finished level 5 of Simpsons Hit and Run. We got to play as Apu, and believe it or not, I still think it was a shame they had to remove him when they did, because in a lot of ways, he was definitely one of the show's more intriguing characters, but because of stereotypes and complaints regarding those stereotypes, they ultimately had to axe him from the show in terms of his voice. Still makes cameo appearances here and there, but aside from that, well, the character is pretty much dead. At least if you're wanting my thorough assessment anyway. So if you're wondering what game it is we'll be doing once we've beaten Simpsons Hit and Run, I've given this some thought, and I've decided that the game I want to do next, and this is also a game I haven't played for a long time, but I would really like to get back to WRC 3 for the first time in nearly 7 years. It is one of the very few games that prior to me reviving this channel, I actually did achieve with a 100% completion rate, which involves basically doing all the championships, regardless of the difficulty. So this is what I plan on doing next. And maybe if it's possible, I can manage to achieve growing the channel again because of it. And aside from me returning to the PS2 WRC games, I was also thinking about doing the original version of Midnight Club 3, which is basically just Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. Something I thought about doing for a while. I also thought about doing it whilst I was doing my Dub Edition remix playthrough of MC3, which did manage to garner a bit of attention, and I was wondering if there might still be something else left in the tank that could maybe help to, I don't know, catapult my ratings a little bit, maybe. I'm not exactly what you would call a strategic optimist, but I am someone who pretty much just tends to have that stubborn mentality of basically just going along with playing a video game and basically just doing it for whatever the fuck it takes for me to succeed, or to at least get something out of it. Which at this point, I think is better than chasing nothing. So, whilst I would like to be chasing higher quality frames for these videos that I make. For the time being at least, I pretty much have to work with what I got, because, well, like I said before, money is only getting tighter with the present state of affairs. That probably needs no explaining, because I know a lot of you are just about as pissed off as I am with the current situation going on. But aside from that, when I get back in June, my main plan is to finish Simpsons Hit and Run, and then once I'm finished with that, I can then move on to WRC3, and maybe consider slotting something else in whilst I'm at it. There is a reason why I stopped putting numbers on my playthrough creations, because, well, to be honest, it's just too confusing and in some cases exhausting to really keep track with what playthroughs you do in what order, and if whether or not you can stick to that. It pretty much got to a point where I was not able to do that, and I just basically nearly lost it a few times when it came to actually doing my playthroughs numerically, even though in actuality I was not doing them numerically, and that was what in a lot of ways just left me confused and frustrated more often than not, and that was why I dropped the numbers on my playthroughs and just went with the game titles instead. It made more sense for me to do it that way. So lastly, if you're wanting to know when I will be uploading the Simpsons Hit and Run videos, well, they'll pretty much be coming out when I get back from my bank holiday vacation, which will be for 5 days, I believe, maybe 6. And basically, what will be happening from there is I will be uploading those level 5 videos as soon as I get the time, because I will also be hopefully returning to work during that time, and maybe if it's possible it actually becomes paid work this time, so I can actually start earning to the point where I am actually trying to achieve improvements on the quality of these videos, which unfortunately I can only record at 30 FPS because I only have an 8GB RAM at the present time, and if I could just simply upgrade to a 16GB RAM without having to pay a ton of money for it, then I probably would. But either way, that's pretty much all I have for what's coming next. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and would like to see more from my video making lab, and maybe leave your thoughts down below if whether or not you think what I am doing is a good idea or not. And we will be seeing you when I get back in early June. Date hasn't been decided yet, but it should be at some point in early June, so anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later.